I feel like I am being hunted, and I feel like people do not treat me like a human being. There is absolutely no trace of me on the murder scene. None. I have one life to live, and I deserve to be free.
There are people in Britain, in Italy, that think you're guilty, Amanda.
The idea that someone could say that I'm a murderer is unacceptable to me. How can you ignore the fact that I had no criminal record in my entire life? It's finding fault in anything that I do all over again, and it's unfair and it's untrue, and it's unfair especially to the Kircher family as they try to understand what happened.
Your behaviour at the time, the cartwheels, the yoga positions, the pulling of faces, the kissing, can you understand why people have this perception of you?
I can't look back on myself when I was a kid and I was doing the best I could and say that I was the one who made the mistake. I think it was the police who made the mistake, and I think it's the mistake of anyone who holds on to that as somehow being proof of me being a psychopath. I have no history of violence, and Meredith was my friend. This is the truth.
You ultimately signed a statement saying that you were there, incriminating somebody else.
That interrogation destroyed me. I did not know up from down. This persistent, over hours, conditioning, and at the same time coming to this point where I thought, oh my God, I must be traumatized. I must have witnessed this somehow. The me now would be able to know how to respond. The me now wouldn't be as afraid. I was a kid.
Who is the real Amanda?
I'm not the person who the prosecution says I am. I see myself with a family. I see myself with children persecuting me and imprisoning me and convicting me does no justice to Meredith. We need to look at how Rudy Gaudet, the man who has been proven to have killed Meredith, how he is going to be back on the streets in a matter of years. Meredith died for no reason except that she was home that night. And I think that it just as easily could have been me too. There's no need to try me for my character and to assassinate my character if you have proof of guilt. I wouldn't be fighting this fight if I didn't think that it were possible to defend myself.
Why are you not going to Italy?
Well, I was already imprisoned there for 4 years as an innocent person. So knowing that that is possible, that that's what already happened to me, I don't want to risk that again.
You not being there, do you not think that implies guilt?
Honestly, it's an admission of my own innocence because I don't deserve to go to prison. It haunts me, the idea that I could be wrongfully convicted, that I could be sentenced to life, that I could be extradited, that I could spend the rest of my life in prison for something that I didn't do. It's the same feeling that gets you to think about suicide, because when you're trapped in this own horrible experience that is your own life, like, how do you come to terms with that? But I am confident in Italy's ability to recognize my innocence.
What will you do, Amanda, if you are convicted again?
The life of a fugitive is not one that I would like to live, and it drives me crazy, the idea that someone can point their finger at me and say that I'm a murderer. Just like it drives me crazy now that people can point their finger at me and say that I'm a slanderer. But I'm not.
Financially, you have gained out of this situation.
I have gained financially in the telling of my story, which is the story of being wrongfully accused and imprisoned for something I didn't do. And that has nothing to do with Meredith.
Do you think it's disrespectful yourself to Meredith's memory, Meredith's family?
When I first saw them, it was in court, and I saw from their faces that they thought I was the one who killed their daughter. I would hope that they wouldn't have those faces now, but even if they did, I'd ask them to give me a chance, for them to understand that I'm not the person who the prosecution says I am. I'm not the person who their lawyer says I am. That I care about Meredith. I care about justice for her.
How do you feel that potentially the Kircher family may always think that you had something to do with the death of their daughter?
I hope that's not the case. It takes away the possibility of there being healing for them and for me, because I won't visit her grave unless they give me permission to. And I want the part of her that was alive to be more defining in my life. And the part of her that remains is her family.